You've released your debut album, Dogs.
Mm-hmm.
What was the first song you wrote that ended up on the album?
I think I wrote a lot of the songs at the same time, so I don't remember exactly, but Falcons was definitely one of the first ones. I think that kind of set the tone for many of the other songs as well. But actually, when you say it, some of the songs were written earlier, like two of them were written a year before, like Questions, for example. Maybe that's the first one we recorded, I think.
And you mentioned that most of them, and Falcons is kind of the what everything gravitated towards. But what period of time are you talking about? What type of how long a period was it when you wrote these songs?
That was most of the songs were written in a very short period of time. It was like 10 days or 2 weeks or so. Because I booked studio time and I didn't think that I had, I didn't feel like I had songs. So instead of just like taking it easy and, finding some songs in your iPod or your phone, I got like almost manic and started to sit down and just try to write as many songs as possible. I thought 18 was a good number. But I didn't manage to, but I think I wrote 13. And most of them ended up on the album.
In that way, can you, in a sense, force songwriting?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah?
Yeah, I can do that. I do that all the time.
So can you take me through maybe Falcons then, how kind of that came together?
I always put my phone on rec, and then I start singing maybe or playing. Always, the songs I like the most, I kind of find later on my recording device. So I think maybe Falcons is a typical song that came with lyrics and music at the same time. And then I stop and I write some lyrics and then I start playing again, try it over and over again and just try to make it feel balanced in some way.
And is it, so the way you describe it, the way I picture it now is you locking yourself in the room and writing these songs. Is it very lonely process for you, the songwriting process?
No. Actually, on all of those recordings that I did on that specific time period, most of them you hear a vacuum cleaner in the background, you hear kids screaming on the downstairs floor. And when people are, I can't, I'm fine with people being around. I just keep it quiet.
So you don't need a certain mood or anything to...
No, I don't need it. It's fun when you have it. It's fun when you're by yourself and you actually want to write music. That's one of the best feelings, but that doesn't happen very often. Maybe a few times a year.
And then I suppose you can't force those moments.
No, those you can't force. But the rest of it is just work.
Did it take you long then, because I'm not going to guess your age, but did it take you long to kind of develop the skills needed to become a good songwriter?
Well, I think the more songs you write, the more used to songwriting you get. But for me, I have a band called Amason, and when I started working with that band, because prior to that, I'd always been by myself, like only me. And for me, starting to write songs with other people was such a relief, because I felt like, okay, I can do more things than just one. And I think that's a good thing. There's many ways to write songs. You can start with something that sounds like nothing, but then you can imagine that if you just put drums on this, and if your best friend, he's a good piano player or something, if he jumps in, then it's gonna, sound different.
Sure. And well, I read this, so I'm not sure if it's true, but you were married to Tallest Man on Earth.
Yeah.
Was he a part of this album for you? Did he help?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think we did 2 songs together on this album.
And then you mentioned that, well, the kind of having other people to write with helped you, free up you. So what was it like working with him again after kind of what you went through? I imagine that couldn't have been easy.
No, that's such, it's a complex question because I think it was, on one hand, it was easier to work together after we divorced because you can be, no, it's not even, I don't know if that's true either. It wasn't a problem.
Okay.
No, we know each other. We know each other's weaknesses and strengths. So it is what it is, you know.
Sure.
I know which button not to push, and the opposite for Christian.
Sure, but then because, well, lyrics can be very personal, and oftentimes people write about what they experience.
Yeah.
And obviously, Christian Darkbird is Home was written partly about what you went through. So, and I assume for you the same. So, was it difficult to kind of know that you were writing about each other in the song?
No, but you got to laugh about it.
Okay.
You know, it's, of course, you know, I can listen to his songs, and the first maybe 10, 15 times I listened to the album, of course there's, you know, the songs are special to me, and like that, you know, it's nothing that, it's not an album that I would put out on when I'm just cooking dinner any Tuesday. It's not like that, and I don't think Docs is like that for Christian either. But, you know, we kind of, because when you write an album, everything isn't true, you know. You know, there's all... So for us, I think it's... how do you say? It's...
exaggerated.
Yeah. Some things are. Some things are not. But I think we just think it's a bit funny that you both the wife and the husband releases an album about the divorce. Sure,
because I can imagine. Well, I'm not sure which 2 songs he helped you on, but perhaps he discovered. Oh, you were thinking this, and the same with you with his songs. Oh, you were thinking this. I didn't know you were feeling that way, or.
Yeah, but actually, those 2 songs that he helped me on, I had written those before we broke up. But of course, we can listen to each other's songs and just like, oh, I didn't know that. Ouch. But, oops. Yeah.
Okay. I'll stop with you this question. But then Falcons, I wrote a line down from Falcons because we're in Amsterdam now.
Yeah.
And there's a line, I tried to get us to Amsterdam to cheer you up. Where did that line come from?
I think that, you know, sometimes in a relationship when you feel that everything is kind of going downhill, you can get amazed by the stubbornness that you want so badly to just keep it running, even if it's bad. So you kind of digging yourself into a deep hole, and I think that line is just some kind of picture of what it's like to do. You try your best many times in a row, and not really knowing if you're making anything better or worse.
Was there a specific reason you chose Amsterdam?
I might have some memories, maybe.
Okay. But it isn't based on an
No,
actual
I think it
event.
just
Okay.
came out.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Well, the title is Dogs. When in this whole process did that title pop into your mind?
I think that was in the end of the process, maybe when everything was done even, or somewhere around there. I think that that was kind of the only word I could come up with. I didn't even try other titles because I couldn't come up with any other titles. I thought maybe I'd just name it Dogs.
So why this word?
Because I thought of it, you know, there was so much sorrow in this record for me, and I thought in a process of just getting over things and try to sum up and you know, get rid of the thoughts you don't want to have any longer in your head, and you want to free yourself, or how to say that. I thought of it as just creating some kind of document where you write a song and then you put it somewhere safe. You put it away, but it's still safe, like in a dock. someone else who knows who is taking care of it, and you can come back and visit anytime you want, but you don't have to live with it every day. It's over. And like that.
Finally then, because well, you mentioned kind of you call it cliche to kind of think of songwriting as therapy, but having gone through what you've gone through, did it help writing about these things?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No, you know, I wouldn't know what would happen if I didn't. You know, I don't really know what I do, but I don't want to be difficult like that. But of course, hopefully it helps. You know, there's always a liberating feeling to write down stuff and take it out of your head. I think that's a good thing. We need to sort things when the thoughts get too many, you know? And hopefully that also makes you feel better in general. And it can be really good to write things to get almost like a proposal of what you feel. You know, can it be this way or is it this way? Then you can look at it and just decide for one of them.
Have you surprised yourself in that way?
Yeah, many times. So many times that I you know, my lyrics came up much more wiser than I felt myself.
Okay, can you give me just one example? You don't have to go into very much detail.
No, I can. Spontaneously, I come to think of a song called Golden. You know, that's a song that I realized afterward that it was a lot about anger, but also try to manage anger for the sake of, you know, finding your best self morally.
Sure.
And that's, you know, you can't really think yourself into moral wisdom. Sometimes it just happened to you for a few seconds and then it goes away. If you're not Buddha, but you're not. But, you know, things like that, just to experience that you can actually be wiser than your own potential.
Okay, and that's a good ending, I think. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.